And we're live. Hey, hi, hello, friends. You guys already know my lovely guest, Callie from Life of a Free Spirit. The adorable Callie, the always with the receipts Callie. You are like, I've genuinely, sometimes I'll be like, oh, I wonder if that's like in a video somewhere, and I'll see one of your videos and I'm like, oh, look, Callie has the receipts for it. You're very good at that. I forget. I'll take screenshots of stuff and I'm just like, probably somewhere. I don't know. Where did I put it? Where did I save it? And then I forget. And I'll just talk about it. It's fine.
I literally have a drive. Like receipts, I take it seriously, which is crazy because even aside from the Chantal Amber BS, I have been canceled. I've gone through my fair amount of dramas with various folks. Yeah. And I always receipt, like, you know, because even before YouTube, I've always been the type of person to where shit goes down, I will screenshot that text, I will screenshot that email, I will screenshot that DM and tell my other girl, you see, this is what I'm no. Kind of a person. So dealing with Chantal and even Amber, to be honest with me, like Amber, I had to do digging because I was very supportive of her at first, like almost like blinded. Right, because like I blindly supported her, and I mentioned this briefly, but I had to do my own fair share of digging, like about her lies. But with Chantal, with how quickly she posts and deletes, you got
Chantal she is messy. I've never seen anybody change their mind as fast as Chantal has. Like I swear, I'm amazed that she can keep things straight in her head, because she'll say something and you can see the regret almost instantaneously, but it's like, you know, like they say memory of a goldfish, like 3 minutes later they forget everything. It's like that. She'll forget that she's ever made that mistake, and she keeps making the mistakes, and she keeps like repeating the same actions, and then she deletes everything and expects that if she can't see it, no one else can see it, and it's fine and forgotten.
Right, exactly. And that's not the reality. I mean, she didn't say this verbatim, but I will never forget when oh my goodness, because she's pulled so much bullshit. I want to say this was sometime last year, where she had did a slew of mukbangs, like how she always does, and then she was talking about going back to the healthier eating, etc. And she literally said something along the lines of, I am no longer the person I was 5 minutes ago. Like, it wasn't verbatim, but literally, like, the post was like, I am no longer this person, and now this is it. And then the thing is, she posted like the little health video, and then we got like more mukbangs, like literally, like I think what the next damn day. That was like
okay. I see her say stuff like, I have an uncle who's like type 1 diabetic, and every few days my cousins, his daughters will get on his case, and they'll be like, you can't, Dad, you can't eat this, you can't do that, you shouldn't, it's not good for you. And he'd be like, I'm a changed man. From this point on, I'm a changed man. And it's such a running joke in our family. And that's what it reminds me of, but like in a less cute way. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, because at least he acknowledges that he's being ridiculous. Like, she'll say stuff like that, and I'm like, okay. Like, I'm waiting till tomorrow to really pass any judgment here. But you know, and I know that there is no conviction behind these statements.
Right. And honestly, that is a cute running joke that you have with your uncle. Like, and honestly, like, make no mistake, right? Because see, I understand that struggling with something like diabetes or even being morbidly obese, I get that can be hard. Like, I get that that's difficult. But the thing is, like, you're literally like a mockery, right? When you display this. Because the thing that has always driven me crazy, and it doesn't even matter who I make the content on, the thing that has always driven me crazy is the fact that I read in my comments people who are like, you know, I'm type 1 diabetic, or, you know, I have this illness, I have this disease, and I hate watching Chantal, and, you know, I received this news. And it makes my heart hurt, because it's like, you know what, these people, they just take life for granted.
Yeah.
And it's people who are actually struggling, who actually try.
Yeah.
That just sucks.
That's the thing that like really pisses me off. I just want to say, oh, Shane's in the chat, Charlie's in the chat. Hey guys, I'm trying to type, but I have nails on that are starting to come off, and it's becoming increasingly difficult to work with these things. But that's why my typing's real slow. But I wanted to say hello, and hello to everyone else who's in the chat. Sorry, we just we just jumped right into it rather than
we did.
You know, rather than waiting for like a hey, hi, hello. But we're jumping right into Chantal. We're going to discuss Chantal. We're going to discuss, just stuff with us. And of course, Amber Lynn as the queen of the girls. You got it.
She lost the crown, girl.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. She hasn't had it for a while. Let's be honest.
It's right? Chantal now.
Yeah.
She even passed it to Chantal.
There's very few things I think that Amber can do that would compete with like rampant drug use and like crack houses. Let's be frank, right? Like,
did you hear that she wants to try the Delta 8?
Wait, what is the? Wait, no. Wait, I don't know about this.
Delta 8 is it's a level of THC that's not quite legalized everywhere. I guess it depends. In the States, I think it depends on your state.
Okay.
But you can get it in the form of edibles, whatever, right? Like concentrated like THC, right? And it's a consumable, like, But okay, so Chantal has talked about the Delta 8, which I think is illegal in Ottawa, if I am mistaken. I'm sorry. I'm like reading about it, child. I had never heard of it. Girl, I'll leave it to Chantal to just,
That's what, I have like zero passing familiarity with it. So I was like, wait. I think I've heard it mention it in like a chat, but I'm like, I didn't know there was anything special about it because this is just not a topic I'm very familiar with.
It's supposed to be like less potent than regular edibles, but like it'll come in a higher concentration. So like, whereas you can literally get like 5 milligram edibles, whatever, or 10 milligrams. But like if you get an average of like Delta 8, it'll probably come in an edible of about 25 because it's a lower concentrate. And so they'll up it so you can still feel the effects, but it's supposed to still like not be as intense. I believe it is illegal in Ottawa. So while Chantal's over here talking about how she wants to be doing all the damn, she does enough already.
She really does. I mean, genuinely, she's gone from like I have friends who will like take edibles. I have friends who like, they'll make the brownies and whatnot. It's fine. But the way that they use it is like occasionally once in a while as a thing to do, like taking a drink with a friend, that kind of thing, which is like, that's cool. Do it. Like, that's up to you.
Like me, I got a margarita.
Oh my God. I should get something. It's so hot. But Chantal is taking it like every day. And then the thing that I like really pinpointed out, do you remember when she went through the first cycle of crazy with Dom and she was talking about like, I need some edibles. And she ran out in the middle of the night to see if she could get to the store. And I was just sitting there like super alarmed because I was just like, okay, when you go from thinking I want to being like, I need desperately, then you're in trouble, right? Because that's bad.
Exactly. The same night where she showed up to his house unannounced.
Yeah, that was scary. Okay. The thing that she does with her shirt, it drives me absolutely mad. Okay. In a very uncharitable way, when she does that, when she pulls it up all the way to here, because it makes her neck completely disappear. And I'm like, she looks like Big Ed from 90 Day Fiance. And like, it's kind of mean for me to say, but she does, because she'll make her entire neck disappear. So it's just like a floating head.
Yes.
And then she like showed up at Dom's house.
Yes.
I would 100%. If I had someone who'd sent me like 25 like phone calls, if it wasn't my mom, if they called me 25 times and then they showed up at my house, you had better believe I would have called the cops. There is like zero. Just like her, if I saw her face hanging outside my window, I would be scared. Like, who is this person I've gotten into bed with? Like, I would be terrified. And then she's like, all of his clothes got stolen. I'm like, girl, you damn well know that you never give her his clothes back. She's 100% holding them hostage. Like, no one can convince me otherwise.
I've seen the speculation, and this is probably, I'm going to get dragged again. I'm unsure because I did watch that stream and a lot of people were making the connection as to where they never heard her open the trunk. They just heard her get out the door and slam it and allegedly just walk up or whatever. But like they never heard her get the clothing out of the trunk. So they're like, oh, she's keeping the clothing hostage. Da, da, da. But apparently like she's blocked now, but she's not even bothered. But honestly, like, bro, even though I reacted and I laughed at that stream, it was just literally the fact that I just could never imagine like going to someone's house or having someone show up to my house and then peeking in my window in the middle of the night. Like, hey.
I mean, I can't imagine why he blocked her with such sane, rational behaviors as this. Why wouldn't he want her over all of the time? My God.
I can't.
I mean, the thing that surprises me is that, like, I am so careful when I'm, like, on stream to, like, never in my life who aren't me. But also, I'm like, I don't want to say anything that I'm going to later go on to regret, right?
Right.
I'm so amazed at her constant inability to ever feel that way. Like, aren't you worried that one day later, when you're like 50 years old, say you might need a job or something like that, and you're just like running your mouth being stupid on the internet, and like someone might come across your channel and like find you, and then this is what you have to show for yourself? Like, can you imagine Chantel in like a regular job and like someone in her office finds her talking about like dingleberries and like having diarrhea? I'm just like, I can't, and there's no part of my brain that can comprehend that. I'm like, do you not realize you might have to interact with regular people at one point? What do you expect them to think about this?
She probably does have the regret, but she has no willpower to actually sit back and face it, let alone anything at all. She is running. Like, that's what I'm standing by in my videos. Like, because unfortunately, but see, these are the behaviors you grow out of. I mean, obviously life hits us all, you know, at different ages, at different times. Bro, the shit that she's displaying and what she's going through now is shit that I went through in my teens and 20s, man. Like, you know, I know what it's like to be heartbroken. I know what it's like, unfortunately, to be desperate. I know what it's like to feel so alone, and I know what it's like to be self-destructive. Like, I know how these feelings are, and like that's the only reason that kind of like I watch her and like I feel genuinely bad because I'm like, man, like I understand that the fact that she's running. It's almost like this is what the live streams have uncovered. Like, this is what has unveiled about Chantal. We always kind of knew she was full of it. We always knew that she was inconsistent. We always knew she, you know, didn't make her mind up. But now it's been unveiled that Chantal has never faced any of her issues, and she will run. She will delude herself. She will avoid. And now she's just, you know, she on the edibles, girl. She over there sniffing things. I don't really know what she's doing. She's over there doing multiple things, and she's numbing herself so she doesn't have to feel or think. So that's why it's so easy. It could probably looks easy, you know, for her to ignore stuff or whatever. I mean, shit, she don't even want to clean her damn house.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I have like, I just did all the laundry this morning. My entire bed is covered in piles of clean laundry. And like, the level of anxiety I have just looking at my room, I'm like, I need it gone. I can't imagine how she just lives in her house. And I have to think that it smells, right? Like,
it has to.
It has to, with the amount of just food containers she leaves around. Like, if I get Chinese takeout and I leave it sitting in the kitchen just like for a couple of hours, the whole house will smell like it.
Yes.
She leaves it sitting there to like rot for days. Like, I cannot comprehend the level of gross that is in that house. And I don't know how she can just exist like that.
Dude.
Just
exactly.
And the funniest thing, the saddest thing to me is like, I mentioned this a few times on my channel. I was sick. 2019, I had a medical issue and I was in the hospital for a while. And I didn't change who I am fundamentally as a person, right? So I still couldn't stand the house being gross. And partner and I hired somebody, a lovely lady who used to come like a couple times a week, and she would like clean the house and she would vacuum the floors and stuff. And like all the rest of the time, partner took care of everything. And I remember thinking like, she has so many resources available to her. She has the money. And if she even talks about it on stream, she could probably like bill it as a business expense. Why doesn't she just do that? Like, why doesn't she just hire a person to come and do this? Like, I mean, that's the thing that like confuses me. Why not? You can't do it. Fine. Okay, fine. You can't do it. You are too stoned all of the time and you never want to clean up. But then why not like hire a person? Like,
because it sounds too much like common sense.
You know what I think it is? I think it is the existential horror of being known. I think that we are not real people to her. Like, internet is not a real thing for her. And she thinks that if someone comes into her house and sees the way that she lives, she'll have to look them in the eye and face their judgment. And I genuinely don't think she can stand that. I also think that's why she doesn't like going to her family's house. I mean, she goes over to Dom's place all the time, but she has to take care of her grandma once, and all of a sudden she misses her cats too damn much. No, she knows they'll judge her.
This is what I love about your channel. Literally, you just kind of sparked a light bulb in me, bro. Because you know what you just made me think about? When she tried to turn off that stream so fast and the cops showed up.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
I understand those are the police, but because you heard the panicked breathing.
Oh, yeah.
Which anybody would be, whatever, if cops show up. But like, because we see every time, even when she's gotten food delivered, remember when she would make like little jokes about, oh, the delivery driver was cute, or this person was cute, or, oh, they probably hate me. They probably think I'm gross. So I'm just run with my food and da-da-da. Like, she does have that embarrassment. She does.
I mean, like, you've seen her when she goes through like the drive-thrus, right? She's so bitchy with the audience, like, my fries are cold, my this is this. But then when it comes to actually talking to the person, she's like, yes, please, thank you. It's like someone just took all of that fight right out of her, like a wet kitten, you know? And and I'm not saying that she should be rude to like the people who are helping. Absolutely not.
Not at all.
What I mean is she likes to portray herself as being so badass on camera, like, I've got this unlocked, and like, I'm not afraid of anything. And then you see her actually interact with other human beings who are not through the screen, and she is just meek. She's just meek.
You know what? We witnessed that night when the cops came by. The panicked breathing, hurry up, mute the stream, don't want nobody to hear, cut the stream. For goofy self, she still decided to go live. That was a hit to like be kept for the night. Who continues to go live? And that following live stream, she's like, yeah, I told them I'm high right now on my edibles. Like, come look at me, I'm high right now. That's what I mean.
I'll be honest, when I saw that, the way that I read that was like, this is, pardon anybody who feels offended by this, but I thought it was like white people nonsense. I have been pulled over by the cops, and genuinely it was because they're like, oh, you made an unsafe lane change. Like, I was driving home friends from a party where they had been drinking, right? I was the DD. And I remember like the cop pulled me over and he's like, it was an unsafe lane change, but now that I've got you over, I can smell alcohol in the car. Ma'am, have you been drinking? And I know logically the answer is yes, but everything in my mind just went completely numb. I'm like, I cannot talk to this man. I was so scared. My heart was racing, you know? And I remember just thinking, I'm like, the audacity of her to just sit there and be like, oh yeah, I was like, I'm high right now. And I'm like, I genuinely mean this. I could never, ever imagine talking to a cop. Like, I'm sorry, but I can't, because Lord knows if something ever goes wrong, you know what I'm going to hear on the news about me? She should have been more polite. She should have been compliant. And like, I can't help it. That's just what goes through my head.
And the thing about it is, and this is why some people are speculating if she even was mouthy to the cops, as she said she was, because see, she talked about how she mentioned how she tried to invite them in for a search. I invited them in. And you probably sitting on that confidence, sis, that you only have edibles. But like, and I didn't want to get this deep into the conversation, but you know, as two brown women, you know, I feel like we can, you know, we can talk. But I do feel like, now, come on, now you're going to invite them to a search. If it would have been any one of us in that exact same situation, let alone even trying to mouth off, the thing is, we probably would have been searched, detained, and pursued without even mouthing off. And that's the thing. Like,
they would have smelled meth in my apartment and come in, you know?
I've been stopped while driving, sober, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Literally existing. We all know, you know, about Chicago police and you know, the corruption there.
Yeah. No, I was trying to go to the Statue of Liberty and I got lost. And this is like, I had a GPS, but it was like a terrible GPS, right?
Yeah.
And I was fairly young then. And I remember I parked outside of a store, and this is like Hicksville, like New York. And I sat outside a store. I went into a store and there were two ladies there, and I was like, hey, can you help me get to here? And she wouldn't even talk to me. So I'm like, all right. I just went back outside. I was sitting in my car trying to figure out where to go, and my phone had died. And all I had was this terrible old GPS. And literally a cop pulls up and he's like, where are you going? And I told him, And he goes, so you won't be staying then. And literally, like, I got directions from it, and he followed me out of town. And so when she's like, oh, I invited them in, I genuinely mean this. I will never invite a cop into my house for any reason. I don't care. I don't have anything worse than a bottle of wine sitting in my house. And I mean this 100%. Never. I will never invite them in. You are not welcome. If you have a search warrant, you show me the search warrant. I look at the sign of the judge on it, and I Google to make sure it's a real judge. And then you can come in. Before that, you stay the hell outside.
Because we can't.
Yeah,
just
I can't take that risk.
Invite them in. Mm-hmm. I dare you. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, and this is what pisses me off because, see, while she's already reckless enough, like, which is why I didn't video the way I did it, but it just it displays her privilege, and it displays how she takes it for granted. I feel like it's a known. I think it's known well enough that she is racist and bigoted, and she's very condescending, and she is very just like she's hateful within herself. Like she can't stand herself, so she takes that out in various ways. And I'm sorry, her dating BB and whoever else, what other brown men she likes and fetishizes, that does not absolve her of her actions and her behaviors.
Absolutely not. Especially with that video that she made when she was eating the Popeyes chicken sandwich and she's like apologizing. That was the reason why I started my channel. I was so mad when I was watching that and I didn't have anyone to talk to about it. And I'm like, I gotta say my piece. Even if it's just screaming into the void, I gotta talk to somebody about this. I was so mad. I have no issue with people having privilege. I'll be honest. I have privileges in certain senses too, right? I am a light-skinned brown woman, right? And I've said before, my mom is like South Indian, and so she tends to have darker skin. My sister has darker features. And so I have privilege in that sense, but not recognizing that and then like weaponizing that against people who don't have that privilege, that like pisses me off. Right? See, I'm not saying you should be sorry for being whoever you are. I'm just saying understand that you are not being discriminated against because of something you can't control. And don't give me this fucking fat phobia nonsense. You can lose weight. I am never going to be any less brown than I am right now. Right? Like, I might go up a shade or down, up or down a shade, but I'm never, ever going to be a white lady. So when you come out here and you're like, well, people are discriminating against you because they're fat phobic, I'm like, excuse you, ma'am. Do not compare struggles, okay? This is not the oppression of Olympics, and much like any type of Olympics, Chantel would not be winning.
Period.
Like, it's just not. Sorry, I'm a little heated. I remember that video and it pisses me off so much. Still mad about it.
Say that shit. Say that shit. Say that shit. Her. Say it.
Oh
say it.
God.
Say it.
It's
her. No. And see, yes, and even you recognizing your privilege, and see, this is the thing, and this is where it becomes different in the Black community, because girl, this is why I can't stand, dumbass people on the internet sometimes, because I would literally have people try to say, yo, you have privilege because you're a light-skinned Black woman. Da, 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 da. Let me tell you something, honey, I'm still Black.
Yeah.
I still get pursued. Okay. I still get looked at as Black.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It doesn't matter whether you're Yeah, it doesn't matter whether you're light skin, dark skin, whatever. Like I'm Southeast Asian, right? Like you had better believe that I'm gonna have a random check on my passport when it comes to going through airport security. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that I have an American accent. It doesn't matter that I've lived here my whole life. It doesn't matter that like I am maybe one of I'm like a bleeding heart liberal as far as anything is concerned. So it doesn't matter. None of that makes any kind of a difference because as far as the world is concerned, their perception of me hasn't changed. And it's the same thing what you meant, right? Like it doesn't matter whether you're light skinned or dark skinned. You're still going to have struggles because you're always going to be labeled by people who don't like Black people as a Black person. And that inherently makes you less than.
Period.
Yeah.
Period. And one thing that folks really hate, they really cannot stand to see Black folks or brown folks succeed, get anywhere, or appear. And this is what I've noticed, even within, the, community, I guess, I've noticed when folks come after me, whenever people have accused me of race baiting and all this other bullshit, I notice that it comes from folks who I guess envy where I am,
Yeah.
Whether it's my platform or like what I do, or, you know, the type of, you know, professional history I've had with like my jobs and my degrees, etc. And they feel like they are owed that, like this entitlement. Bitch, I really hope you know I had to bust my ass, and I still continue to bust my ass to get everything that I have today. And I don't take it for granted. And like, the thing about it is, when I try to actually educate and spread awareness and tell people about, you know, racist creators and the bigotry that I see, and the just like the plain prejudice that I see, because I see it all the time, and you see it even within their audiences too. Like they're always the same.
Yeah.
So whenever I spread awareness, and the girl, and just like the receipts, I provided receipts on this shit, right? Girl, people still want to tell me how, well, you're just mad because this. Girl, I remember people literally trying to tell me that I am mad because I am not like Chantal.
Oh yeah, I get that a lot. Like, you are so jealous of Chantal. I mean this in the nicest, kindest way possible. The only thing that Chantal has better than me is her sub count. 100%. There is not one area in her life that she is doing, that she is thriving in more than I am. And I don't mean this in like a mean kind of way. I mean this very genuinely, because that's what she has done to herself. It is not, you know, like if someone was, I'm not going to like punch down and be like, that person sucks and I'm better than you. But if you're coming at me saying that you're jealous of her, what exactly am I jealous of? The fact that I don't have like an additional, 200 pounds sitting on my frame. The fact that I'm living at home with my ex-boyfriend that I cheated on. The fact that I don't have a stable job, a career. I never finished college. My family can't stand me. And then I'm seeing a drug addict. Like, I don't, which part of her life should I be jealous of? And if you're talking like money, honey, I got a job. I do this because it's fun. I'm not doing this because I'm not relying on this. I know for a fact that this is not something I can always rely on. That's why I have a job. I work 9 to 5. Right? So like, where's the jealousy coming from?
Period. And I feel that, sis. I guess the jealousy is in the same place where, I guess with me, you know, how I was a hoe, but I didn't have to falsify it entirely. Oh yeah. I didn't have to falsify my relationship, child. It's very real. And just because I keep things to myself don't mean that it's fake. That's another thing too. Like, people are like, why don't you talk about Shane more? Why don't you talk about this more? Because bitch, Shane and I's business.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember when you and Shane had met, I'd had a few people in my comments being like, well, you're so mad at Chantal for like going out and seeing multiple people. But like Callie and Shane met up. I'm like, right. Callie and Shane met one person. They met each other. They stayed in a hotel room. And then after that, I don't know. You didn't tell me this on, like, I don't know what happened after the fact, but I'm like, but I would assume, you know, they probably quarantined afterwards. Maybe they were tested. They're socially isolating. Chantal doesn't even wear a mask going through a drive-thru. You want me to take her word that she's being real careful? And now she was with, how many people was she in a row? Like Nick, and then this guy, and then Frank. Friends over Frank.
Nadia, we got Nadia because just over there. What's up, girl?
Yeah, exactly. Right. All of these people, and then she's going to see her mom. She's going to see her stepfather, her sister, potentially her sister's boyfriend. So all these people she's meeting with. Meanwhile, Canada's vaccine rates are like less. I think it's like 10%. I could be wrong on that. No one quote me. But Canada is not vaccinated the way that we are vaccinated. So when you are sitting on here, right? Like when you're sitting on here, you're talking about, oh, you know, it's the same. I'm like, okay, let's like put a full stop to this. I saw my like extended family. I saw 2 people from my extended family, my in-laws, and that is it. Right? Yep. I met them, 100% I met them, but both they are careful and I am careful. And that was the only interaction I had during the pandemic. So when you're coming and saying it's the same as someone who's meeting everyone, going through every drive-through and pooping in every bathroom she comes across, no.
I just saw my baby in the comments, and he said it best. He was like, our relationship was established way before meeting, and that's T, right? And Chantal drove 2 hours for a school lunch sandwich. So no, you're not the same. God,
that is it is so sad. Montreal has some of the most beautiful places I have ever been to, legitimately. And the fact that she took us to that sad ass sandwich place made me so upset. Like I literally just sat there and I was like, That could have been a fun series. I legitimately would have watched a series where she's like walking around Montreal, maybe trying some food and like being like, oh, this is cool and this is cool. And Montreal style bagels, for example, are a legitimate thing. I would have loved it. She would have if she'd done the damn thing. Oh my God.
She's always been lazy when it comes to actual foodie content. Like,
everything. She's lazy at everything.
Yes, like you watch Chantal and girl, even Nikocado, and Nikocado is a troll. He does a better job than her being a foodie.
Oh my God.
More effort into everything. Mm-hmm. When you watch actual foodie channels who travel and they're showing you different restaurants and they're the architecture of the restaurant and they're talking about the history of it, whatever. Chantal literally will like include, like, remember when she was doing her pre-recorded, she would do like 2 screenshots of where she was going and then talk about it for like a second and then just go. But honestly, it's her style because that's what the hell she likes. She likes hole in the wall type shit. Because even when that pizza place that she kept driving to, that was another dive.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with dives as long as you like if you gave some history about it, right? So like, this is not a dive, but like when partner and I had gone to Japan, there was a restaurant we went to that served like, like the Japanese wagyu. Mm-hmm. Anyway, he's a foodie. I am not. I have a palate like a cow's ass. Like I don't have an appreciation. I don't have appreciation for the finer tastes in life. I just don't. Like I tried truffles and I'm like, this tastes like socks to me. Like I just don't. And it's fine. It's not who I am, right? But like I went there with partner. I remember he was eating it and he's like, so this is the Providence. This is where this like meat came from. And he had all this information and he cared about it. He was like, can you tease that like subtle notes? And I was like, mm-hmm. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, I cannot believe I'm spending this much money on food that I would have been fine. I would have probably been okay at a Big Ham's, for example, right? Like that's who I am. But like I'm sitting there hearing him talk about it. And that's what like irritates me a little bit because she's like, I'm a foodie. You're a fast foodie. You like fast food. Yeah. That's all you really seem to eat. Like, how can you tell me you're a foodie when what has she eaten recently? The only things I can remember are like Burger King. Yeah. Like, how are you going to sit there and call yourself a foodie when all you're doing is eating Burger King? Come on now.
And Twisty Misties, girl.
Oh my God, those goddamn Twisty Misties. It is like a drink version of cotton candy. It's just sugar. Why?
Does wonders for the diabetes. Like, oh my God, Chantal.
I can't imagine. Right? Hey, Acrophobe. Yay, I have a mod. One of my mods is here. I only have like 4 mods, by the way. If anyone ever thinks they're blocked, I've literally only ever blocked one person, and that's because this person kept trying to give me their number, and I got real uncomfortable. Yeah, in my like last chat, there was like a guy who was just like, here's my phone number if you want to like chat, and I'm like, I don't. I'm a happily married woman, thank you. But that's the only person I've ever like blocked from my channel. Other than that, say whatever. I don't give a shit. But yeah,
that's the phone number. No.
I was like, aren't you afraid of like trolls on the internet?
Exactly.
Like, it's just weird. It's weird, man. But yeah.
Next level psychotic. Next fucking level insane.
Yeah. I mean, It could have been worse. He could be outside my house in the middle of the night trying to return my laundry. So yeah.
Did you get my number, Jasmine? Did you get my number?
She is just, the thing to me is like, how do you like look at thoughts like that where you're like, I will show up at his house and it will be fun. How do you like think of that and not think maybe there's an issue? Like, how do you get to that point in life where you're just like, this is the behavior of a rational, normal human being? Showing
up to people's houses, especially unannounced. Girl, like when I say like she's so underdeveloped, like the Arrested Development is real. That shit I did in high school. That's back when we thought we was big and bad. And girl, that's back when shit was going down. Like, oh, she talking shit? Okay, we're gonna pull up to her house. But but not like on some, not as an adult.
Exactly. Oh, God, she's just I don't think Chantal has grown beyond the age of like 13 or 14. That was the last time I think I found like fat farts funny. Sorry. And I don't think she's grown beyond that. Sorry, my nail came off. This is what I meant. They're all coming up. So it looks like
too.
mad janky now. But she's not really grown past that point. I don't know what happened to her, but something must have for her to just perpetually be stuck in that you don't own me, I'm the boss of me, like phase of life. I genuinely don't get her. I don't understand. Like, why would you choose sadness? Like, I mean, like, if there was something in your life that sucked, right? Wouldn't you try and change it?
But see, once again, that's the responsible thing, the common sense thing to do. And that's another thing too. I understand also going through the phase of running from situations, like very much how Amber always talks about how this is why she's not in therapy, because she's afraid to unpack those emotions. Mm-hmm. I understand. And to be honest, okay, I believe in giving yourself time to process, heal, and finally address that trauma. And I'm a talker anyway. So like, luckily, like whenever I've gone through anything in life, I tend to feel better after talking about it for a while. Sometimes, child, I have to talk about it again and again and again just to get all my emotions out and everything processed. Absolutely. So I understand taking the time and allowing yourself time to address certain things. It's so asinine to be on a public platform and consistently re-victimize yourself with said traumas that you are willingly not addressing. Meanwhile, the world's still turning, sis.
Oh yeah.
People have, they started therapy sessions. They have started families. They've moved to the next level of their life. And meanwhile, we have Amber, Chantal, etc., who still go on these same cycles, and they go on these cycles willingly. And that is peak slap in the face to anyone who struggles with mental health issues. Like, I understand the anxiety of going to a therapy appointment. And I also understand that, like, after some therapy sessions, you're not going to feel the fucking greatest. Like,
oh, yeah.
You would have to.
Never. Yeah? I honestly, every therapy session I've ever had, I come out crying with, like, black lines of mascara running down my face. I am never happy after it ends, and I hate going, but it's like pulling out a goddamn splinter. Sorry, I interrupted you. Please go ahead.
No, you're fine. I was listening because I feel you. Like, yeah, and you're fine, baby. Like, I don't feel shaded or whatever. Check here, Kiki in. But I understand that, like, after every therapy session, you're not gonna feel the greatest. Sometimes I've had therapy sessions where I'm like, wow, that provided me a lot of clarity. I can think about this with a different perspective. And I have had therapy sessions that have literally wrecked me, sent me into a whole depression, to where I started like having to mentally prepare myself. I'm like, hey, well, today I got therapy. Let me make this a self-care day. So those days, and girl, I was still doing, like, in my therapy sessions, even like with my YouTube channel, even with everything going on. And like, I wouldn't upload, wouldn't do shit. I would come home, take a nice bubble bath, light my candles, meditate, girl, blast me some Lil Peeps, honestly.
I like that. I gotta do that. No more crying in my car. Bubble baths from now on.
Bubble baths, like skincare, give yourself a face mask, like, do your nails, do your toes, whatever. Like
massages once the world is slightly more normal.
Yes, right. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like a self-care day.
Yeah,
like,
you take care of yourself.
Like, plan ahead, because with therapy, unfortunately, you never know the whirlwind of emotions that you might get hit with.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah. And the thing is, this is what pisses me off, especially with Amber, because I feel like Amber still, in a way, has more support than Chantal, even though people are finding her boring now. Because all Amber has to do is stick consistent with a diet for more than 3 damn days, and she gets ass pats. I mean, she even got an ass pat from me because I was like, wow, this is demonstrating that she knows the damn difference.
Yes, absolutely.
She would get the same amount of damn support, if not more, if she actually went to therapy and bettered her damn life. Because I would relate.
I would hire a skywriter. Genuinely. The day that Amber seriously commits to therapy, I will be so happy for her. I know she thinks that, like, we all hate her and we only want negative things for her. But I was watching a I don't know if you know Repsion. He made a video recently. Yes. So I love him as a creator. And he was making a video. He talked recently about like Gabby Hanna and how she uses her trauma. Like she wears it around like a backpack, like something that she's proud of. And that she uses it as a weapon against other people to deflect criticism. And I remember like listening to that. Like it was the most recent, like the Gabby Hanna and Jessie Smile situation. I remember listening to that. And I remember thinking, this is exactly what Amber does. This is exactly the same behavior that Amber displays, because I know she's had a hard lot in life, 100%. Like, I'm not denying that. Her life has been tougher than most people's in that regard. And like in a lot of aspects, her life has been tougher than mine will ever be. Right?
Yes.
I can recognize that. But when you have the resources available to you, the support available to you, the whole goddamn fucking internet standing there waiting just to congratulate you, and you choose to not do that.
Yeah.
At some point, that's a choice. You are making the active decision to not get better and choosing to live unhappily. And then don't ask me to support you when you're sad. Because if you don't help yourself, you don't care enough about this issue, then why am I being asked to care?
Period.
You know? Why should I care if you don't?
And that's the thing. It's like no one is going to sit and baby you. And especially with Amber, it's going on 8 years. People get tired.
Yeah.
If she would have ever taken her YouTube career seriously, 8 years on YouTube, most people who've been on the platform for that damn long, they go off to start businesses and not the used earring business to where you might get them, you might not. They might be sanitized, it might not, and it's Becky's fault. That is.
It's a lot. We'll talk about Depop in a second, but like genuinely, like I'm thinking of like Obesetobeast and Jordan Shrinks. If she could like, or even what's her name, Learning to Be Fearless, right?
Yeah,
she could be at any one of those people's level, and you don't even. The funny thing is, you don't even have to do all that work yourself. You don't have to be like a Repsion and like edit all your own shit and do all the sound stuff on your own. You hire a person, they do the editing on your videos. You can like write all of this off as a tax expense. All you have to do is like a tiny little bit of work, like the littlest bit of work, right? And it's fine if your goal is that like you never really want to have a very huge channel and you don't really like fundamentally. I'll be frank with you guys. I maybe don't devote as much time to YouTube as some other people do, right? I don't have like the fanciest equipment. I'm still like I want to buy like a nicer camera and sound equipment, but I don't have this fanciest stuff. And that's because this is a hobby to me. I'll invest in it what I can, when I've accumulated enough money. But when you're doing this as a job, and that's how you tell, that's the thing. She also tells people, she's like, this is my job. Like when you like, people get mad at, she's like, people are mad at me because I'm posting garbage content. Well, it's my job. I have to make money somehow. Be good at your job. If I had the kind of piss poor performance evaluations that like she gets from her audience, are you kidding? I would be unemployed so goddamn fast. Are you kidding me? Do not sit there and tell me this is your job when you're treating it like less than a hobby. I feel like
she's,
like you put in so much more effort into your channel, and meanwhile, like she's just coasting. I'm sorry, I talked over. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. I felt bad because I was like, ooh, I interjected. I didn't mean to. No, because she's over here and she's talking down and she's snapping back and she's being condescending while also wanting a goddamn pity party from people who work 9 to 5s, from people who work 8 to 5s, 8 to 6s, people who make goddamn what she makes in a day, probably the whole month, right? You know, people who are severely underpaid, especially with the inflation we're facing right now, especially with the pandemic. So many people being unemployed and refusing to work for these companies that are willingly underpaying them and have for years. Okay, and she wants to sit her ass up here and talk down to those same people and wonder why no one has the patience or the time. Because I don't know, when you get done with a long day of work, do you want to watch someone who's going to be uplifting or entertaining or maybe take your mind off? Or do you want to go sit and have the pity party, someone who is more privileged than, I would say, 90% of their own audience?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Right? And it's just like, and that's what mind blows me. And that's like, it's crazy. And like different people have different goals. How you say like, YouTube's your hobby and whatever. Yeah. I feel the same. I don't really have any goals. I mean, I get the free spirits. Everybody tells me like, oh, Callie, I can't wait till you reach 100K. I can't wait to do that. Child, if we get there, we get there. If we don't, we don't. all I know is I've been canceled several times and I'm still fucking here. And I plan to be here. Now I cannot promise you what time, because mainly I'm here around midnight. The fact that you see me during the day is actually like, you know, this is you know, almost unheard of. But I know that even with my consistency, like, I'm thankful for the people who engage. But that's the thing, like, Jasmine, like, we're honest about our intentions and honest about our YouTube journey. So I think the reason why, you know, you get the engagement that you do and you're still growing the way you are is because you've been honest, and you're also very logical. I've always loved the way you like do your videos, like, and that's why, you know, I can keep with you. But girl, I've always hit a 100. Girl, even when I was smaller, I said, girl, I'm gonna upload the video. I don't know what time y'all gonna get it. Y'all might get it one day, what next week, who knows? But I'm here. And but when you're honest and like, and when you just own shit with your chest, like, you make your own life easier.
Yeah.
I don't have to feel some deadline or some pressure, because I know that I'm a self-driving force. So I don't have to worry about letting anybody down if I'm uploading at damn near 1 a.m, child.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I want to read one comment really quickly, because I really like what they've said here. Lehandra, please forgive me if I mispronounce your name. I'm really bad with names. But yes, as I always tell my therapy clients, that I will never work harder than they do. They have to want to change. Yeah, and this is the point, right? Like, there's like that buy-in concept. Like, you have to want to change to be in therapy, not just like want the end results of therapy, which is what I think like Chantal and Amber both want. They both want the end results of therapy. They both want the end result of weight loss. Yeah. And they don't want to do any of the hard work. And this is why I've always said, I don't put my weight loss stuff on my channel, mostly because I don't want to talk about it. Like, not in like a mean kind of way. Just I'm not interested in talking about that part of my life. It's not something that I think is particularly interesting, mostly because you're never going to see me get on a scale from like 1 week to the next and see like a 10-pound weight loss, right? My weight loss is very slow, but it is steady. And so that's what I care about. So like, I'm not particularly worried about like anything other than that, right? So like, when they're talking about the concept of like buy-in, that's what I mean. Like, you have to want the change. You have to make slow, steady, sustainable changes. They're not interested in any of that, because all that's hard work. They just want their like fat one day and then thin the next, and then we're good to go, and everyone will love me.
And it doesn't work like that at all. And see, and this is another thing that people get, you know, a certain anti-group tends to get very confused and very convoluted, to where people do have the right to keep their weight loss and their issues and their struggles with weight and their health too off of the internet. That's their choice. Every time Chantal and Amber have said that they're going to take some shit off the internet, I always say, hey, that's their choice. But being in their audience and seeing their behavior, we know it's not going to stay off the channel. Because the minute the views go down with the mukbangs and the bullshit, I've gained more weight. Here we go. Feel sorry for me. Here we go. I'm about to weigh myself in this doorway, and you can't see the scale. And we just go,
yeah, exactly. Like, if you can't see anything below the waist, then obviously it isn't there. All of that has gone, and now I'm a skinny legend. Oh my God. The funniest thing, like, I feel this, like 100% feel this all the way down in my soul. Like, Gabby Hanna is who like Chantal and Amber will be if they ever lose weight. That personality is just so eerily similar to me. She has that same sense of entitlement. You know, like that picture she put up where she was like, I could, what was it like? I could fuck your mom, your dad, and like the one person you love most in the world, and I won't. And I literally took a screenshot of that and I sent it to my partner, and I was like, do you want to have sex with her? And he's like, please stop. He puts up with a lot of my bullshit. He's like, please stop sending me this. And he's like, and no, you know, like she's thin and she's conventionally attractive. And I think that she's just like that. That's it. That's all that's like required of me for people to like me. And she's so thinks so highly of herself. I very much so dislike Gabby Hanna. I do. I really do.
I dislike her too. I don't have time for her bullshit, because it's a lot of people's bullshit. I genuinely don't have time for a child. But Yeah, you know what's crazy? So in my live earlier, we were watching Nikocado, and Nikocado is always mimicking Amber and talking about how he made the joke of identifying as a skinny legend. Like I identify as a skinny person, and but unfortunately, there are people who will use skinny as a personality trait, and oh yeah, I'm skinny, and they will wrap their entire identity around being thin, and as if it's child, it ain't like it's about being healthy. It's at least about setting better examples, especially as a public figure. We all understand that we're just human and we're not perfect. Yeah. But I don't know, maybe don't drive through the Burger King 5 times a week and down all your twisted misties and be like, oh, I still lost weight. I'm on the Ozempic, even though I avoided my Ozempic.
I had no idea what's happening with her, internally, but if she's still losing all that weight while she's eating the way that she's eating, I honestly, quite frankly, I am more worried because if I lose weight all of a sudden, this happened to me once when I was first year college, I lost, I want to say something like 15 pounds over the course of 1 week. Okay. Yeah. And I wasn't overweight at that point. I was right at the edge of healthy and overweight. So losing all that weight all of a sudden was drastic. Yeah. And I didn't think, oh, this is a good thing. I was I gotta go see a doctor. And it turns out I had a thyroid infection and it gave me temporary hyperthyroiditis, right? Yeah. And they gave me medication and shit for that. And the fact that she's just this is the result I want, so who the fuck cares? And she's just going on with it. It's so concerning. And someone pointed out in one of the comments that in a previous video, they were fat malabsorption is a symptom of doing meth. And that concerned me so much because she's already admitted to trying it. He's very generously, he has the build of someone who engages in those kinds of hardcore drugs. And the fact that she spent so much time with him, I mean, these drugs, they are people who are susceptible to addictions. Mm-hmm. They are literally made for people like that. And Chantal is literally the highest category of addictive personality I've ever seen. I swear.
Yes. Same. And even more so than Amber in that regard. Yeah, definitely. The speculation, and I don't mind the speculation about the drug use because she has came on and she's admitted various things. Mm-hmm. I just try, and maybe it's because and this is no shade to the free spirits. So what I'm getting ready to say, and I hope I say this the best way. I know that my audience struggles because that's all I've seen in my comments over the years. I have people in my audience who have eating disorders. They struggled with drug addiction. They've struggled with different addictions. They've struggled with various things, illnesses. Some have had cancer. Some have beat cancer. Some have had loved ones pass away from this. I see this stuff in my comments literally almost daily, pretty much. And I've seen it for years, which is what makes me even more passionate about what the hell I talk about. So when it comes to the speculation about the drug use, because I personally don't have experience with those hardcore ass drugs like meth and all that shit. Girl, the closest experience I have is this one story time on my channel, meth at a rave, where this guy at this rave sat down and did his meth next to me, and I was I was all right. But I don't want to stigmatize. And same thing with mental health issues. I try to, even though, yes, fat malabsorption is, a symptom common in people in meth, I also don't want to frame meth addiction looking like Chantal. And I don't want to frame drug addiction, especially because she already has blatantly displayed her damn eating disorder. Yeah. I don't want to frame it in Chantal. There's literally people in the audience who talk about how they feel bad, they feel shamed, and they feel like shit because they see Chantal losing weight, living recklessly, and they haven't lost weight themselves, and it makes them feel shitty about themselves. Yeah. So I try to say, hey, this is a topic about her specifically. This is not saying, all drug addicts look and act like this. This is not saying all people through an eating disorder look like this. So when it comes to that, so when we have the conversation of the hardcore drug use and all that, I just try to watch what I say. And that's another reason why I like your commentary, because you're also able to do it in a way that's respectful.
Yeah.
I know my tone, and I also know how I get when I get pissed with Chantal. And I know that I can come off very like, look,
Yeah.
but I'm never snapping at my voice because that type of shit breaks my heart. Like, I saw one girl's comment, saying that she, some girl lost her boyfriend or her significant other to hardcore like meth use or something. And she was like, I just can't watch this. This is super triggering. You know, I love you, Callie, but I can't stay for this video because I lost this. And this just brings up such unpleasant memories for me. And so it's like, I really just want people to know that regardless of like what you're struggling with, Chantal is not the depiction of you as an individual. No. He is actually the opposite of what anyone should ever even want to try to be or even imagine.
Yeah, no, 100%. And just a message to anyone in the chat or anyone who watches this on the replay. I mean this for any of my videos going forward too. I'll try and put a thing in my other videos as well. But if anything that we're talking about like personally impacts you and makes you feel bad, please feel free to nope out of that video as fast as you can. Like, yeah. I'm no one here is gonna take it like personal. We're not gonna feel bad about it. Like your health and well-being is much more important. And quite frankly, I think that the fact that you have people in your audience who've been in such a vulnerable position, it's a compliment in a way, right? That they find comfort in listening to you, to something you have to say brings them comfort, because it's not an easy thing for people to have gone through, and it displays a strength of character. And if they're taking comfort in something you're saying, I think it speaks well of you, you know?
I really appreciate and I value you for that compliment, Jasmine. Like, thank you. Like, I like your content because I feel like there are things that you say that add a new perspective for me, and I can see why people engage with you. Like, I always have like the free spirits in the back of my mind because my audience went from, you know, because I used to make videos about my life and talk about my struggles, and in between random content. I always did random content on my channel. But now, yes, I do reactions, commentary, drama videos, and whatever the hell else. And
I like them. I'm really enjoying the shift your channel has taken. And honestly, I'm really happy that you're covering other creators. Sorry, just a quick thing. I'm really happy you're covering like other things that are happening in the community because I like listening to your commentary, but every once in a while, I'm so tired of listening to like Chantal and like her bullshit in particular. Like Amber is a lot more boring and like most of the time I'm okay with her. But sometimes I'm just like, I can't with Chantal this week. I need a break. And she is making me crazy, and I'm going to get on here and I'm going to call her all manner of names. But like, I still like listening to your commentary. So it's nice having a video on like a different topic because then I'm like, oh good, I still get my like daily like session with you. But at the same time, it's like not on Chantal. So it's not going to make me want to gouge my eyes out.
Dude, and like I always have offered like the variation of content always. I mean, and what's crazy, if you pay attention to my popular uploads, my shit, the videos with the most views are like about Trisha Paytas and Aaron Carter and MGK and shit like that. Like, you know, like actual, you know, like deep things that I have a lot to say about. Even the whole Rich Lux, the drama channel drama saga. And, you know, I like Rich Lux, I like Nick Snyder, I like all of them, whatever. But like my audience went from supporting my personal life and journey, which is why I still reserve like my Patreon for like Get Ready With Me vlogs and like, you know, talking here and there about my life. And also the same thing with my members to still provide that content that I used to, only in a different way. So that way it's not like I switched up or whatever, but it just gets so frustrating because while I love to switch it up and like there's a ton of shit. I have a lot of videos I need to make right now. Girl, Shine for Christ is over there doing the most on Instagram. Miss Ashy Cat is over there being ashy, child. Girl, I am debating. I don't know if I'm going to actually follow up CreepShow Art stuff because it's starting to kind of hit a little bit disturbing, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to trigger the hell out of my audience every goddamn day. And honestly, the thing that makes it the most annoying is the fact that Chantal has been like my final boss of drama, dude. Like her ass will stream, and now she's streaming like 6 times, you know, in a day, and then something gonna get deleted, and you better post, and you might not catch it, and you might be asleep. She's always been the one. So like, I'm just happy that people understand that when they see me posting a lot. Same thing with Amber. If you see me posting a lot about Amber, it's because she's on the drama. If you see me posting a lot about Chantal, the bitch is on the drama. Like,
the thing is with Amber, it's like once every like couple of weeks or like a thing I really want to talk about, you know. Generally it's just like a little bit of an update. But with Chantal, because her mood is so volatile, she goes through like so many more like quote unquote like scandals, and I want to talk about them, but it's like, oh my God, I don't have the time.
Yes.
Like genuinely, like I listen to a lot of her videos on double speed sometimes because I'm like, if I sat here and I just don't have the time. Who has the time? Who can sit there for like 15 hours a day other than Chantal and just listen to Chantal? Like,
yes,
people got to do groceries and a job and like go to the bathroom.
And the fact that she expects her audience to be there for every damn minute, half hour, hours of it. So that's slew of streams that we got. And she came through. How many streams has she started off where she's like, where are you guys? Hurry up and get in here. Hurry up. People have lives.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Priorities, bills.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, like Mary Beth Wiley's in the chat right now, and she says she's like, you know, it's her and her moms. Like, fuck if I know how like Marissa, Travanda, and like fucking Karate Joe have this much time in the day. Like, I cannot imagine. Like, if I can at least understand Chantal because she legitimately has nothing better to do, and this is at least quote unquote her job. Right. But like, what about these other people? They're not even getting paid. How do you have this much time? Do you just sit at home all day on your computer? I miss things. I'll be frank. I miss things all the time. I rely very heavily on Twitter, especially on like Future Miss Becky and Valgal, because they have all of the information on there. Sometimes I just go through their stream and I'm like, okay, what's happening right now?
Yeah.
I don't have the time to sit here for like 15 hours a day. And like, same thing with you. Sometimes you'll upload in the middle of the night. Like I remember once it was like 2:00 at night and she's still going. I'm like, good Lord, lady. And I'm like, okay, you know what? This isn't worth it. I don't care enough about this. I'm going to go to bed. And hopefully this will keep.
Girl. I cannot tell you. It's always been Chantal. And like, that's why I kind of make a meme of it now. Because I tried to add like the comedic aspect to the bullshit because I don't want to depress the hell of my damn audience, dude. Like that because I'd be sitting there pressed, and I'm like, well, we gotta, switch the energy up. But I cannot tell you how many times where the minute I upload whatever reaction, whatever commentary, it's already old. And if you depending on what all has gone out, it damn near looks like a lie because the whole narrative will change.
Oh my God. I've put up stuff so many times and then like immediately, literally as the video is like uploading, I'll see that she's posted something that's completely contradictory. And I'm like, God damn it. Like it makes me, because I don't want to put out the wrong information and I don't want to spread false information, but it's like, I am working with all the information I have right now. And ma'am, I need you to stop. Just like the whales have come out of the ocean to tell you to stop. I would do nearly anything to get her to go back to pre-recorded content. Like, girl, I will give her one of my ovaries if she wants it, if she will go back to pre-recorded content. I am so like done with this live streaming bullshit. And it's transferred to Amber Lynn now too. Both doing like 3-hour lives. I cannot. A bitch has other things to do. Oh my God, I'm losing my mind.
Period. And I love how you said you are working with all the information you have for the video, which 9 times out of 10 is a shitload, especially lately with the streams. And then the girl about to have you post. Yeah. I love it. Like, I love when I get the comments. You probably get these too. The minute you upload something, and then somebody's like, well, wait till you see the new video.
Oh, yeah. I get them all the time, and I'm like, I'm trying. Honestly, I have to give a shout out here. JustSayin is like a saving grace for me right now. Yes. She puts up like her clips of everything, and I'm like, you're doing God's work right now. Yes. Because you've condensed like 70 hours of bullshit into like a 1-hour stream. Yes. And that's all I want to watch. This is all I had time for today. Thank you. Like, I would like not know what's going on, like her and Thor, because I miss so much stuff and Thor like uploads all of her deleted shit.
Love Thor. Thor, oh my goodness. You remember when he got taken down briefly, and like I'm so happy that like he was able to fight that. Oh my goodness, like because a lifesaver, and I love how Thor, how he's able to kind of like he's condensing the lives, like he's able to so it makes it so much easier because oh my god, like. She's impossible to keep up with, and like I saw Shane say, Shane said it accurately. Like the information's out of date the minute you get it.
Yeah, and I mean we're already working with like so many layers of nonsense, right? So there's like, can we believe anything that's coming out of Chantel's mouth? Like, will we have all of the videos available? And then it's like on top of that, it's like how much of a time delay are we on? Because we're gonna get more bullshit in like 45 seconds. Yeah, it's deeply upsetting.
And as the receipts channel, and I can say this, I might have to regret it, but I miss Community Tab Chantal. Community Tab Chantal was easier. Was easier.
Then you had one screenshot you could look at.
Yep. Like
she's gotten so lazy she's not even typing anymore.
No, she can't even girl, remember when it would be like the whole screen?
Yeah. I can't believe I'm saying this, but the good old days. Like when Chantel would rage post in the middle of the night and delete 30 minutes later. The pleasure.
Because she's no longer the person she was 5 minutes ago.
Right. It's so fun. The thing is, I get a lot of people telling me, it's like, if you're so mad at her, why do you still watch her? So I'm like, I'm interested in the general arcs of her storyline, but it's just there's a lot of like minute to minute bullshit that I have no time. It's like, when you read a history book, right, and you're like reading about like the revolution, you're talking about the Revolutionary War. I want to know when the big battles are happening. I have no interest in the day-to-day lives of the soldiers, like every day for years on end. Zero. No, I don't need to know who washed their socks and who didn't. This is the equivalent of that. It's bullshit.
Yes, like oh my god, and like there was even a time, and this is when I say a time, this happened a couple months ago. She had posted a couple times on her community tab, and she was gonna take a break. She was gonna take a break from YouTube, and then she went live 5 minutes.
Oh my god. I was like looking forward to that. I'm like, a break. Chantal will take a break. I can collate all the information. And then she didn't go on a break. And I'm like, I was looking forward to that, ma'am. Bullshit. It's nonsense is what it is. Oh my god. All right. I have a question for you. Okay. I know a little while ago, Acrophobe was in here and he was asking about it too.
What's up?
How did you feel when the information, like right the moment when the information dropped? This is complete like topic switch about CreepShow Art. What were your immediate reactions when you saw her post and when you saw the information coming out about it? I'll tell you mine experience, but I want to hear yours first.
Okay, so I never really engaged much with CreepShow,
mm-hmm.
but when I saw that long ass community tab, I said, "This is big Chantal energy." I thought that.
Mm-hmm.
I did think that. And unfortunately, and this is why I spoke on it, especially with seeing how it affected Raine. I love Raine. I love her so much.
I do too. She's great.
And seeing that, and she's always been friendly and she's supportive of this community. But when I saw the shit on CreepShow Art, I was like, this is a horror story, but I'm not surprised that it happened because this is how
really
act. That people are psychotic. Especially you want to make YouTube friends, especially some creator friends, people, and they have agendas.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is horrible. This is next level. This is not to minimize. Yeah. This is next level. I've never seen anything to this magnitude. Oh, but the shady shit that goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Especially with different creator.
I agree with you so much. And that's like, I think one of the really interesting things, I can't speak for everyone in like our particular corner of the YouTube, but almost everyone I've had an interaction with has been almost exactly what they present themselves to be like on their channels, right? So I like I've spoken with you, I've spoken with Charlie, I've spoken with a few other, like the OG creators. I've spoken with Val from On Program or formerly On Program. Yeah, so I've spoken with like a few people, and every person that I've spoken to in person has been, give or take, about the same person that they are like on their screen. And I was actually a really big fan of CreepShow Art. So when that story first dropped, there was a part of me that went, this is bullshit. But like, you know, like that willingness to believe, like you want to believe the other person. Right. So you're like twisting yourself up into pretzels, being like, but what if maybe, but like, could it be possible? I know it sounds crazy, but what if stupid things have happened before? And I remember being in that position and just like thinking about it. And then I saw the Emily Artful video and like, man, I felt betrayed fundamentally. Like I was such a fan, and to have that like dropped on, and I cannot believe that I supported someone like that. I can't believe that I was the kind of person who would have defended her. You know what I mean? Like I've defended her actions, and it just so upsetting.
Don't fault yourself for supporting somebody who you didn't know, baby. Like, I mean, but that's the thing about the internet. Like, you never know, and like. Yeah. You know, shit's real. That's all I can, and I know that that's like, you know,
it's just some of the stuff that she has said on Lolcow, like that was disgusting. Like some of the comments she made were so disgusting. I was like thrown aback, right? Like the Emily Artful situation aside, right? That which is horrifying in and of itself. I'm not dismissing that. But some of the comments that she's making about her friends, people who were her friends, like, I was so like horrified at that. Like, if she thinks so little of people who are like following up with her and talking to her in person, how little must she think of the people who follow her? How little must she think of those, you know?
And with everyone who's spoken up and spoken out, and see, this is the thing. This is how you can kind of tell that this is not just like a out of the blue cancellation for some bullshit. This is people who have evidence, who have had horrendous experiences, because there is a common denominator within all of their stories, and that is that unfortunately CreepShow Shannon, because you're Shannon's but got off on it, got off on being. I do know that CreepShow Art had videos about how she was able to be a catfish and like got off on being able to catfish. Like she got off on deceiving people. She got off on manipulating people. She got off of dogging people, and she got off of taunting people. Like this is a constant. I'm hearing this not only am I hearing it in Ray DeGlare's video. I'm hearing it. Her editor just spoke out. I just watched his video this morning.
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I can link it to you on Twitter. Yes, her editor just spoke out. I just watched his video, and the constant is, she would make me think this. She made me feel so safe. I'm like, that's a part of her fucking game.
Yeah. It's just like, it threw me for a tailspin. There's like very few creators that I'm very much so like the larger creators. I'm an inherently suspicious person, right? So when I see like larger creators, I always take it with a grain of salt. There's very few big creators, especially in the makeup community, to be honest. I think most of the bigger community, like the creators that are snakes, I like follow very few people in general who are like very large creators. I think there's something about that level of power that just makes them detached from like the audience that created them. And so she was one of them. I think one of the biggest channels that I still like that I watch, it's like Legal Eagle and Philip DeFranco. And and now the thing is, I'm so suspicious because like I bought stuff from Philip DeFranco's merch. And now I'm like in this weird place where I'm like, what if he's a monster behind the scene too? How can I ever be sure? I'm very suspicious.
And it's nothing wrong with being suspicious. And honestly, you're just a scorned viewer who wants to watch who you're investing your time and your money in. And that's responsible. Like, you can't fault yourself for being suspicious. Like, I guess maybe in the way, like, unfortunately, which is why I'm so stern with these type of topics, because I always make jokes about me being a stan, right? I stand this person, I stand, which, whatever. And we've seen, I have stand my way to hell with some of the folks who I have supported. But mainly, like, when it comes to friends, I can 1000%, I can say a few things. I regret being as open as I was on my YouTube channel when I first started. I regret being so quick to want to make friends and thinking everybody was cool. Dude, because I was in unfortunately, like at the time, especially when my channel was growing, I was in a vulnerable place, right? I was dealing with being homeless, just got done over that. People who know my story, they know. And to see people who were not only engaged in my life story, but were supportive, it made me excited. And then I started talking about other topics. I regret being so open with, folks and just being open with my DMs. I regret peeking with creators and thinking that they were my friends and publicly defending said creators various times when not only has that not been reciprocated various times, but I've been shat on. People are out for their own agenda. There are people even within the audience who get off on certain shit, especially in shit like Discord. They like to make things about themselves. They like to have a hierarchy, like pit people against each other and stuff like that. The shit that goes on, I'm gonna tell you something. I didn't know what gaslighting was. Literally had never heard of the term gaslighting, had never heard of the definition until I got onto YouTube.
Yeah.
Literally.
This is why I'm like so against genuinely like Chantel sharing so much of her journey, right? Like this is a good, this is not a good thing that it happened to you, but it's a good thing that you learned that if I say things, people are going to use that information against me in a certain manner. And you're just like, I'm just not going to share that information anymore, right? Learning from like past behavior to make sure your future goes better. And this is the exact reason why it like pisses me off when Chantel will come on and she'll use her like chat, and people in her chat is basically like free therapy. I'm like, these people, they are not your friends. Nope. Even the people who are giving you ass pats are not your friends. And I mean this like I've said before, like sometimes like, you guys will say something, or like even in your videos, I really like you guys as creators, but we don't have to agree on everything, and that's okay. The difference is you have to be like honest about it, and you have to be like respectful about it. I don't think there's anything wrong with someone disagreeing with my take, which is why I have no problem leaving all the criticism, right?
Right.
But like, I also understand that there's like a line there, right? Like I've learned from past behaviors. I'm like, okay, you got to be careful with that shit.
Yep.
The issue with Chantel is she doesn't seem to understand any of that. She doesn't learn from her past behavior. She'll put everything up online, and that she thinks anyone who's nice to her is instantaneously her friend. Anyone who says mean shit to her is instantaneously her enemy. And that's how she's trapped herself in this bubble, especially like with the members only chat. It's full of just ass kissers. And it's so, I will see them like gassing her up. They're like, yeah, you should totally drive by his house. And I'm just sitting there like, she needs a real friend. She needs a real human friend. And I swear to fucking God, like, she just, not even Pete's is that right now. She has no one. And this is her own fault, fundamentally. I don't think it's like no one deserves, like no one's owed a friend, but she needs to like understand. She needs someone in her life who can be like, you're being a gigantic douche right now. Maybe like back the fuck up, I don't know.
They gas her up to her own detriment, to her own demise. They literally do. And it's so sad to see. And the thing is, unfortunately, we have sadistic people out there like that who want to fuck with your life. Like, see, this is what kind of pisses me the hell off, and this kind of goes back to the race baiting bullshit. People have probably noticed a strong change, like a good solid change in my channel since last year for various reasons. I will never forget, and it was around this time of year, this time last year, when I literally did a stream talking about George Floyd, talking about the Black Lives Matter protests, talking about what was actually going on and happening. And, with me being, in the city, I'm seeing the shit with my own eyes.
Oh, yeah.
And, things that were happening to actual, like, close family members of mine and what they were going through in other states. And I will never forget the stream to where I came on here with blatant honesty, vulnerability, and spreading facts, because it was a time where, even aside from the pandemic, I was genuinely afraid from the world. And it kind of dawned on me like, shit, I'm over here making YouTube videos, but I could fuck around and I could lose people in my audience. People could,
Yeah.
We can die every day, but I wanted to really spread awareness and share that part of my heart. Honey, that stream has been used against me. That stream has been the receipt of me race baiting. People have used the thumbnail of me crying in that stream about Black Lives Matter, trying to call me a racist and spread all these false narratives about me, talking about how I'm, you know, the bigot, I'm the real, whatever, with the racist plot. I will never forget that shit. Yeah. And that's why I am where I am, and those motherfuckers are where the fuck they are. Because
let's just be like honest. Like I mean, next, let's say who it is, okay? He loves to build himself up like he is this like really hardcore, like I should be scared of him. Like, he couldn't scare me if he tried, first of all, sir. Second of all, do you remember that video that I did when Chantal had made those awful comments about DC Media? I'd made this. Oh, hey DC, you're here. I didn't realize you'd popped into the chat.
Oh, DC's here. DC's like, yeah.
They're just saying in my culture, they're like, Gio Hazaro Sal. It means like you're gonna live 1,000 years. Like when you mention someone and they call you, or like they appear in your life all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so I remember when I made that video, I was talking about like, you know, something I thought was very important, and I don't want to be seen as benefiting from a tragedy, right? Like I genuinely think when you have shit like this, like I don't want to keep that money. I'm not hurting for money. I appreciated everyone who donated, and I wanted to do something nice. I wanted to take a moment of negativity into something positive, right? I wanted to put it towards something to make a change, right? And I remember like Next coming on here and putting like a thing saying that, why don't you donate to actual Holocaust survivors, unlike trying to get ass pats from the internet? I'm like, I'm sorry. Are you the one putting up your own money? Because it seems to me like you're just throwing a link up on your Twitter and you're asking other people to donate theirs. I did work to make that video. I did work to put the video up, and then people donated, and then I matched every single person's donation, right? I did that. I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm just saying that when you're going to come on here and you're going to tell me that I'm not doing a good enough job, that my activism isn't perfect, therefore what's even the point? And that obviously I'm a malicious character, like, fuck you all the way. Like, I find him so disingenuous, and I like very rarely do I dislike people that much, but I genuinely dislike him. I think he's a grifter and a con artist, and I think he loves to think that he can scare us, especially because his community is mostly women. And so he thinks that he can bully and harass us, and he doesn't seem to realize that like the situations that I have found myself in real life, like, honey, you would pee your pants in some of the situations that I have been in. So
period. You
don't scare me. Get the fuck out of here.
Let me tell you a little something about Negs, right? Especially when it comes to myself, right? So I have gotten into it with a creator, Real Stream News, which CJ made a recent stream about me, mentioning, you know, the Shiny for Christ bullshit, because I reminded people who the hell he is and who he was and who he still is to this day, right? Me. When I first went through my bullshit with CJ, when he pulled the goddamn revenge porn stream, and this is back when him and I were still quote unquote friends. I literally woke up getting ready to go to work, finding out about this goddamn stream, and I had to fucking publicly say something really quick and fast. I'm like, I don't condone this. Negs went on a goddamn spree, like how he does all of us. He went on a spree about CJ, right? Girl, he went and dug up some of CJ's old videos, even the video where, you know, there's a video about a girl not giving CJ consent. You know, yes. Negs dug that up. Negs came on to Twitter back then. He would kiss my ass. He's like, oh yeah, I see you got into a life of free spirit. And one of the things Negs always said about me when he would kiss my ass and want to be friendly is that I had a nice following, a good view count. That's always what he's after. That's always his motive. This motherfucker changed his whole tune. Not only did he disappear for a while, I don't know what the hell happened to him. I just know he came back talking shit, right? And where I cut it, where I honestly had zero interest, wasn't even gonna go back and forth. And this is why I don't pay him any attention now. The minute this motherfucker had the nerve to say some transphobia shit about my fucking man. Oh, but you was the same one kissing my ass. You were the same one, you were trying to be flirtatious when you mentioned me, bitch. And then now you see here I am with my man, and you want to say some fucking transphobic fucking bullshit. Let's really get to it. You are willing to engage and endorse racist fucking people on your channel. You are willing to fucking engage and endorse a fucking sadistic, twisted motherfucker like CJ, who is only after whatever views he can get, just so you can say, oh, well, I don't agree with this hater nation. You're willing to defend the fucking debauchery of Chantal just so you can feel like you have a leg up on us. Imagine how low you got to fucking stoop. And that's why.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing that I find so, like, disgusting about him. And, like, he genuinely, the antis in general, right? They talk about all of this nonsense about how we are fat phobic and we're bullying because we're talking about Chantal. Meanwhile, Chantal literally said the R word, got called out.
Period.
And then she's like, well, I just mean that to mean stupid. It's a word that I've used before. It's my emotional support slur, you know? And you're sitting here, you're defending her.
It's because Negs is the same person who said on stream that he's called his own son the R word when he's acting up. And his son knows that it's not an insult.
Yeah. I mean, like, so I'm mildly dyslexic, okay? And the thing about having like certain conditions like that, right? Like having just like a reading disorder or anything like that, or just having even like cognitive disabilities, right? The R word becomes a symbol of everything that you don't like to hear. And it doesn't matter whether it's like a scientific term or whether it's not. If you look at the etymology of any words, it's probably just comes from like Latin or some shit. And they used it originally to not mean anything offensive. It doesn't matter because people have used it like that for years, right? Yep. So like the word, like I'm going to say the word here because I'm not sure there's some debate about it, but like the word queer, right? There are some people in my audience who really don't like that word because they're like, no, it's an insult that's been hurled against us for years. And then other people are like, no, it is an okay word to use when you're referring to people in the LGBTQIA plus community as a large. I'm not educated enough on that to really speak on it, which is why I don't take a stance either way. I just avoid saying, I don't want to hurt people, fundamentally, right? But it's like, this is not a word that's in debate. You're using a word. There are people in your audience who are telling you when you say that the R word means you're stupid, what you're saying, anyone who could be described as having like mental issues of that variety is stupid. That's what you're saying. Yep. So the fuck don't you realize that? And then like to hear them come on here and being like, it's perfectly fine for her to use the R word and call people that. And you know, it's not bigoted at all. But if you call her fat, well, you are a bad person. You know, the finger wagging that they do fucking pisses me off like you wouldn't believe.
The same motherfuckers who stood by the Charlie Cole insult.
Yeah.
And still defend it to this day.
And that just, oh my God. That was so like disgusting. It's gross. Do you remember when like Michelle Obama, there were like comments of like people talking about like comparing her to a gorilla? Yes. Right. I remember reading that shit. And I remember reading the people talking about how, you know, she doesn't mean it. She's just, you know, she's just being insulting by comparing Michelle Obama to an animal. I'm like, okay, look, you can't be stupid enough to not know the history of the way that word is, right? Like read the room a little. Right. My very immigrant parents who have not grown up in this country, and until they came to the United States as grown ass in their 30s adults, had never encountered a Black person, have never once used that word. They've never used the N word. They've never used the R word. They've never called anyone a racial slur. They've never used the F word. That's what I'm saying. My immigrant parents who have no understanding of this culture. Like my mom went to a wedding in a business suit because she's just like, I don't know what you're supposed to wear to like a white wedding, right? She's confused by it. If they can understand enough and gather enough context clues to not say it, so someone who's grown up in this country, if you're going to tell me you could not figure that out, you are like missing the point on purpose. You are doing it on purpose. Do not come to me and talk to me about that nonsense.
Let alone when we have displayed, because and whatever, people want to call me biased because Charlie is my friend. Bitch, Charlie is my friend, bitch, and I stand by my friends, bitch, and I will call out any bullshit if you fuck with my friends or my man, bitch, period. So if I'm biased, whatever, but I still would provide the receipts, the history of degrading people of color, calling them coal, the goddamn me being called a minstrel show by another one of their favorite accounts.
Citrine Dreams, that fucking comment. Oh my God.
And then they were like, oh no, but it wasn't the real Citrine Dream. No, bitch. No, bitch. You knew what the fuck you were saying, bitch. Like you knew what you were saying, bitch. So it's like
ridiculous.
When because I remember all those videos, especially when Chantal was going off like that. And I remember because Michael on Twitter posted the history, like you remember when he posted it was a photo displaying like how coal was used as a derogatory term back in the day towards people of color, and why that was, and why it's depicted the way it is today. I used that same screenshot. I gave my own backstory. I talked about how it's not okay. So just like how I provide receipts on all this bullshit, I provide receipts on actual racism and fucking discrimination that actually goes on. Now, it's interesting to me. Everybody want to come and sip the minute Chantal is a whole train wreck, but then it calling out Chantal's racism and how she's promoted and stood by racist people, even Shiny for Christ, because Shiny had her back, still defends Shiny, still does. Excuse the fucking her house. That's when motherfuckers get real quiet. And I see it, to be honest. I see it. Like I can't stand it, which is why like, I'm thankful, to be honest. Like I've gotten to the point to where I don't really give a fuck how many views a video gets. I don't really give a fuck how it performs according to YouTube.
Yeah.
If you sitting back and you listening to what I got to say, I appreciate you and I love you so much, for real, because I can tell the shift, because when we're calling out Chantal's bullshit, or everybody here to sip that tea, but when the conversation gets a little bit more serious and a little bit more truthful, and maybe a little bit more eye-opening, because maybe it makes people look at their own actions and behaviors and beliefs.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we can go there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I 100% agree with you. It's the thing I want to add to that, just really fast, is before I lose that thought, is you talked about how, like, right? Ben Shapiro is Jewish, right? And a lot of the people who support him they're the kind of people who marched in Charlottesville saying death to all Jews. So when you look at your messaging and you look at the kind of audience you're attracting, you have to at some point say, I'm saying something that is attracting the kind of bigoted trash that I don't agree with. So what am I saying? You got to reflect a little bit internally. So when you're attracting not one, not two, but like a multitude of racist, bigoted people, obviously something in your language is like attracting them. Right? Like I've had genuinely, I'm very appreciative of my audience for this. I used a phrase earlier in my channel that I had no idea had a bigoted history to it, right? And I had just assumed it was referring to like playing cards. I didn't know. And I had somebody very kindly in my comments tell me, hey, you might want to look into this. This has actually been used to describe Black people in a very negative light. And I'm like, oh shit, I had no idea. I mean, I'm not above being wrong. I looked into it. They were 100% right. I was 100% wrong. I came back. I told them as much. I'm like, thank you for bringing this to my attention. I will, from here on out, stricken it from my vocabulary, and I will never say anything like this again. And that's the thing. They said this to me, and I genuinely appreciate that. My goal is never to cause people pain. And God forbid I said it to somebody and it hurt their feelings. Like, fuck, that would make me feel awful. So that's the audience that I attracted. That's why I meant, like, when you have people in your audience who have had histories with drug addiction, who have had histories with like mental health, and they're coming to you and they find comfort in you, that's a good thing, because you're attracting those kinds of people. You're attracting people with strength and integrity. When you're attracting racists, it says something about you, right? Like you know, like shit attracts flies, basically.
It does. And we make these points. And that's why I've always valued you, Jasmine, because I remember when you weighed in. And also I remember when Shane weighed in his points too about the whole Charlie Cole situation. And I really appreciate it. Like, I really love and I appreciate all the creators, big and small, whoever, wherever people even started channels to cover that. And I appreciate it because we don't see enough of it.
Yeah.
And there are too many people who are afraid. And it does say something about that person's character.
Yeah,
if that's the type of people that they're attracting, let alone promoting. Citrine Dream, Fatty Gold, fucking God, like who the hell? Shiny for Christ.
Shiny for Christ.
Yes.
Her degenerate boyfriend Rev.
Girl, they would not have the audiences they have. The traction they have, because guess what? Chantal was back in Shani, and Shani was back in Chantal before Shani was even featured in Shane Dawson's bullshit.
Yeah,
these people would not have the traction that they caught.
I agree.
If it wasn't for her ass modding them.
See, like, and that's the funny thing. it's so funny to me because it's like all you had to really do was like not engage. You don't even have to say don't support me to them. All you had to say was nothing when they came on pretending like they don't exist. But you can't take that because they might see that as an implicit like rebuke and then they won't give you $100. And the fact that you can sell your integrity out for that small amount of money is absolutely disgusting. It's disgusting. It makes it, the things it says about your character, it's like, honestly, if I had a group of people who thought that lowly of me, I would feel disgusted with myself. And the fact that it doesn't inspire any self-reflection on her part is just...
Period. It doesn't inspire any self-reflection. It inspires fucking constant deflection.
Yeah. It's everyone else's fault that I supported a racist. It's everybody else's fault that I'm inconsistent. It's everyone else's fault that I sold my soul for $100 on stream, right? Like, it's everyone else's problem. Nothing to fix about me, even though I'm the common denominator and all this bullshit.
Exactly. I literally remember my comment section, like on the videos that I've made, especially the Shawnee shit bothered me because there were so many videos of this bitch and the ER word. So many. Like, I mean, I have, you know what I'm saying? I have them on my damn channel, dude. And I play it again to remind everybody what the hell he is. Bro, I will never forget when Chantal was trying to deny her association with Shani. She's like, well, I don't really know much about this person and they sound controversial and I don't really want to talk about this person and no.
Yeah.
I remember saying it then and I called it out then. I'm like, she is trying to protect Shani. That's why she doesn't want to speak on her. And lo and behold, here we go now. Now here she is. Well, I don't really want to fault her because she has mental health issues and you know, she can't help that she has a hoarded house. I mean, I have a hoarded house. No excuse, bitch.
Yeah.
It's the same racist bitch. And I remember seeing the comments in my comment section when I called Chantal out then, because I saw through it then. This is already a year or two ago. People were like, why don't you just let the race thing go already? If she doesn't want to associate with Shani, she doesn't want to associate. She clearly has learned from her mistakes. I'm like, y'all don't get it. Like, I see through this. Like, and then here it is, it's years later. Oh, Callie was right. And now I get the damn comments. Oh, you were right, Callie. It's like, girl.
Yeah. Chantal's life is like the movie Memento. She has no ability to learn from the past. She like forgets it fucking 5 minutes later. Yeah. And genuinely, and this is the thing that I find very, like, it's not gaslighting. It's just one of those things where it's like people not believing the experiences of like people of color and Black women in particular. It's when they'll come on and be like, no, you're reading too much into that situation. I'm like, honey, I have more experience with situations like these, so I can maybe pick up more information when you can't, right? Like, don't deny me my experiences here. And that I run into that like so much. Like, I work in healthcare a lot too, and I see this all of the time happening. You know, I want to say until like 10 years ago, there was a widely held belief that like Black people and Black women in particular felt pain less than white people did. And this is what I mean. This is literally like a medical version of like not believing the experiences of like people of color and Black people. And when you come on here and you say, well, you don't know, give her the benefit of the doubt. I don't have to. I have their number already.
Period. We don't have to. And that's the thing. Like, and this is why I value you so much, Jasmine. Like, I hope you never stop your channel. I know that this is a hobby for you. I know that, you know, you got other passions and stuff, but like, I value people like you. I have always valued people like Michael. I will always value Charlie. I value Shane. You know, I value people who are not afraid to have these conversations and stand by their words with conviction, because I'm promising you it's not enough. It's too many people doing anything for views. And the minute the conversation gets tough, they get real quiet. I will always remind every damn body, anytime Shani or whoever the hell else does some shit with Chantal, I will always come on and I will remind you, pay attention to the creators who are staying silent right now. They were the same ones who were silent then.
Yeah.
And it is kind of sort of drama. If I'm trying to good name names, but I'm trying to
yeah. Exactly. You know? I don't need the views badly enough that this is the, there are some topics that, as far as I'm concerned, are completely like off the table for me to talk about, right? Sometimes it's because I'm like, I don't know enough about the topic to have an educated conversation about it, right? And that's why I'll refer them to other people who can have it in a much more eloquent and understanding manner, people who might have a better lived experience than I do. And I think wanting to have these conversations, being understanding that occasionally you will be wrong. It's going into it with an open mind. Like I'm telling you, dude, I want to be as correct and as polite as possible, but fundamentally, I am sure there are things that I don't know and that I have wrong in my head.
You're human.
Yeah, everyone's gonna get shit wrong. That's the thing when you were talking about like people having canceled you in the past and like people coming for you. A lot of that is just like people coming for you from my own understanding is like, I thought it was like nonsense. But like, even if someone is wrong, people are allowed to be wrong in the past, right? Like that was one of the things in like CreepShow Art video when they were talking about Emily Artful, and she was talking about how she was a pick me and like the kind of like nasty attitude that she had then. People are wrong. They can evolve and they can grow. And I am willing to extend people that courtesy as long as you're willing to do it to me and other people as well. Right?
Yes.
But like that has to come with the understanding that you are going to be wrong occasionally. If you can't accept that, you can't grow.
And they're afraid of being wrong.
Yeah.
And so I think that's another thing too. They're afraid of getting it wrong because it's too hot to touch. So for them, it's easier, which is it's privilege.
Yeah, it's privilege.
It's easier for them to avoid it, right? Whereas, bitch, I know I'm wrong. Honey, I drag myself. I will drag myself before anybody can drag me. I know what my flaws are. I know what my faults are, right? Like when child, there's been many times I've gotten the T wrong and the video has uploaded and it's posted.
Yeah.
And then it's been public. And I followed the video. I'm like, well, I am sorry for getting this T wrong. I now have the correct T.
Yeah.
Whatever. And like, but it's also just like, just standing with the conviction that, hey, I'm willing to learn. I have learned. Like I said, I've learned from my past mistakes. I honestly hate being as open as I was, even though I was in a vulnerable place when I started my channel. And I just wanted to tell my story. And to be honest, I just wanted to feel heard, to be real. And because a lot of my experiences that I've had, it genuinely in my world, it felt like I was the only one going through those things. Like I didn't realize so many people had schizophrenic, parents. I didn't realize so many people dealt with, child abuse and, all kinds of other things that I've dealt with, let alone anything else. And so when I saw that, I'm like, wow, like I'm not the only one. And so I started engaging more. And that's honestly my biggest downfall is getting too close to motherfuckers. And being too open and too whatever. And yes, a lot of times people have come after me. It's been for nonsense, which is why I find it so hilarious. You know what I find hilarious? Like, they want to come after me and drag me, but the only real things I ever really hear about are my wig.
I think your hair generally looks so nice. Like I've heard so many comments about your wigs, and I'm like, okay, first of all, do you know how hard it is to put a wig on? I know because I have tried and failed when I didn't feel like doing my hair. I bought a wig, it was like a nice fun teal color. And I'm like, I'll try a thing. And then I got so frustrated. I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm just going to go on with my giant rat's nest of hair. Right. And so the fact that I keep hearing all of this about like your wigs, I'm like, you look nice. I don't get it. I don't get all of this.
Girl, it's like because this is the thing. If I'm the fucking bad guy, I need to hear bad guy shit. I don't want to hear it's because the wig and you shop at the dollar store and yeah, hypocrite because you want to be Chantal and you two are also fat. It's in Black culture, I am considered fat, right? But whatever, girl.
I think
I'm high. I'm fucking in the top 8% on OnlyFans. So
I would agree with you. I think you look gorgeous. And you know what? And you know what the thing is? It takes so much. Like I love like when people are like dismissive of that. Do you know how much effort it takes to make OnlyFans content? Do you think it is easy? Absolutely not. It requires time, energy, effort, editing. I am barely on Instagram because I can't even get a fucking filter on my videos or like filter on my pictures before putting them up. This is why I don't do shit. When you're coming at me and you're telling me, oh, she's just easy money. You're just doing. I'm like, do you have any clear understanding how any of this works?
At least I'm dancing and exercising.
Oh yeah, exactly.
At least I'm moving around, bitch.
That shit's hard work. I have taken exactly one class where they've like tried to teach. I'm very uncoordinated, by the way. Like, if you ever meet me in real life, I'm that person who will like, I've literally done this. Like I've walked into a pole, walking in a straight line. I've tripped over absolutely nothing. I'm like the least coordinated person you will ever meet. Mm-hmm. And so like, like what I've like seen some of like the clips that you've put up on like Twitter and stuff where you're dancing. I'm like, you're doing such a good job. You're like genuinely doing a good job. I'm like, do you know how much I would give to be able to like actually dance? I have no skill.
Girl, if we ever get together, bitch, we about to drop it low. I love getting with my girls and dropping it low, bitch. Wear some heels, bitch.
I'm gonna be the person in the background just doing this. That is my level. That's my level of dancing. I don't want anyone to come on and be like, you're Southeast Asian. You should know how to dance. I do not know. Please do not ask me, and I have no rhythm. Okay? Born with like 4 left feet somehow.
Not just in the background doing this.
I have tried dancing before, and I've literally smacked people with my arms. I don't want to get sued. Like, that's just not, I'm not trying to do that. I'm going to stay in the corner. I'm going to enjoy it. I'll have fun, but just little movements back and forth.
Girl, I'm going to come down. We're going to back it up, Chad. We're going to back it up.
Can I ask you a weird question?
What's up?
How tall are you?
5'3".
I have a very hard time at like kind of getting a good idea of that. I'm sorry, I missed what you said.
I'm 5'3".
You're 5'3"? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You have like 5'9" energy. I thought like,
oh, I got 5'9" energy.
Genuinely, I thought you were like 5'9". Yeah. Like I thought you were like real tall. No, DC, I can't do Bhangra. I like try and I have like slipped and fallen because you have to have like one leg up when you're doing Bhangra. I can't do that shit. I'm like not coordinated. I'm not built to dance. I'm built to be in a basement lab getting no sunlight. That is where I am. That's where my comfort level is. I'm happiest in a glass box. Okay, like I don't know what to tell people. I don't have skills. My husband didn't marry me for my like ability to dance. I didn't sweep no one off their feet.
I think that and I feel that honestly, girl. I am convinced that I got Shane. I think I got him through some OnlyFans promos. I think that's probably what brought about the ring. I moved my ass. I did a little, I'm saying that's thing I know I was proposed to. I was like, wow.
You guys are so cute. And I saw like the pictures of your ring. It fits you so well. It's so your personality. I love it. It's such a beautiful ring. Oh, I'm so like happy for you guys.
Genuinely dark love.
Yeah, no, it's cute. I like that. I like the alternate wedding rings. I have a friend of mine who got a ring and it's like moonstone. That's what like her husband proposed to her with, and I'm like, it's just so cute. I like that. I like thinking a little outside the box, and it fits you so perfectly. Like makes me so happy. I'm like that's I think Callie would like. She'd like that better than a traditional ring, and I really love seeing that.
That's my baby daddy child. That's my boo thing. Oh. Maybe you want to go out there and strip right now, child. Well,
me too, but for other heat-related reasons.
Oh, for heat-related?
I'm like, I don't have my AC on right now because like it is like it's so loud you can hear it in any video it goes up. I am literally sweating bullets right now, and I have like 2 lights here. I have a ring light here. I have a ring light here. It's like blaring light on my face, and I can see myself in the image getting increasingly shinier, melting like a snow. Yeah.
I'm hot too. I got my AC off too for the audio. I don't want to fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, I'm gonna turn it on once we get done. Like.
Oh man, I'm gonna go sit on top of an air conditioning vent in like underwear. It's so hot here. Like I'm like genuinely, I can't. If it gets hotter than like 65 degrees, immediately my body is like, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? Why do we live here? Like I don't. That's why I like going down to like California so much. San Francisco is my shit. It is cool. There's always a wind, and it's rarely ever sunshiny. There's always like cloud cover. I don't do well in direct sunlight. I'm like a vampire. For all this melanin, all of it is useless for me. I burn like in immediate sunlight like this.
It takes me a while to tan, so I don't sunburn as easy. I almost wish I did, because when I actually tan, like I'm trying to get a cute little tan because I told my baby, I'm like, boo, like in the summer, like I turn really pretty copper brown.
Ooh, nice.
And like, yes, I just have to get there, child. Now we see what I have a long way to go.
do you freckle at all? Because I have a couple friends who'll get like just the cutest little like bit of freckling right on their cheeks.
I don't get freckles. I just have overall tone if I get enough sun. Mm-hmm. And I love the way I look when I'm tan, because I just like, oh y'all, she is a golden goddess. She is a penny.
Nice. I like it. I like that description. I look like a shiny ass penny.
Yes,
dude, 115 in Arizona. We should just send that entire state out into like space or something. That is unacceptable. 115 degrees anywhere is like gross. I've been to like UAE. That's the only time I've ever been somewhere. Well, no, there's one other place where it was like that hot in the middle of summer, and I went outside and I literally burned through my shirt. Like I had a sunburn on my back, and I was wearing like a full sleeve shirt to keep the sun off of my skin, and it was so hot. It was craziness.
Wow, that's intense to go through your shirt.
I've never, like, I go to UAE on a semi-regular basis and genuinely never doing it in the summer again. I only ever go in December when it's like bearable heat. It's too hot. It's too hot. Oh my God. Do you purposefully like tan, or do you just like, when you go outside and you just get tan like that?
I go outside, I do my thing, but this summer I am trying to like purposefully tan. You know, I'm just trying to impress my man.
Hot girl summer, yo. You gotta.
Period. I'm just trying to impress my man.
Do it.
You know,
I don't tan at all. I turn red like a lobster, and then I peel. So it's when I'm my most attractive, you see. Genuinely, we were supposed to take our engagement pictures, and a partner took me hiking. We gone on a trip together. We were supposed to get our pictures taken in Yosemite, and we gone hiking the day before. I looked revolting. I literally looked awful. My face had gone red. I had like patches of like skin that were peeling off, and he's like, maybe we should reschedule. And I'm like, please don't make me photograph this. There is no amount, like, that's what you'll see occasionally. My skin does not like anything, but like occasionally you'll see me and I'll just have like patches of like skin that's like trying to come off my face because my face hates me. And even now, you can see I used a cleanser from Kiehl's and it didn't like me. And so I've just got hives all over my face.
Oh my God, baby, no. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I know that some people, when they tan, like the peeling seems to have different intensities. Like you can slightly peel, or you could like fucking.
Oh yeah.
Sounds like shedding, damn near.
Yeah,
like,
that's what happened. Well, I think it's because I also have eczema, so it's like a combination of those two things. They get together and they're like, haha, fuck her in particular. And it's like real bad. Like I'm not going to go into much more detail than this because I'm sure people want to eat at some point, but like, it's bad. It's bad. I'm bad. And it's like, it's awful because like all of my family is legitimately from like Southeast Asia. It's hot there all of the time. And so like, I'll go home and they're like, what in the name of Caucasian nonsense is this? Like, you can't come outside with us. And I'm like, no, I cannot. I have to take an umbrella with me. You don't understand. It's a constant source of mockery in my family. I can't eat super spicy food. Like, according to their level, I can't eat super spicy food and I burn in direct sunlight. Like, your husbands are like, you don't know who you are.
Because I watch your get ready with me videos, and I'm always focused on like the makeup and like the colors you use in the palettes. And so I'd be listening to you, and I've seen your natural skin, and I understand like you like have like the uneven like
hyperpigmentation.
Yeah, hyperpigmentation. Like you have that, but like the way you do your makeup and the way you apply it, like you do it very well.
Thank you.
And so like you obviously, like I can tell you try to take care of yourself, because the key to good makeup is good skincare. I don't care what the hell the beauty guru told you into what scam, child. You gotta take care of your skin before you do your makeup well. And you at least like, I can tell that like you take care of your skin. So I would actually never have guessed, like unless you told me about like your peeling issues when you tan and burn, like I would never have known that. Because you're always coming over here serving, child.
Legitimately, this is because I genuinely work in a basement laboratory, so I never see sunlight. I'm in a basement lab or I'm in my friend's house, and that's where I exist. Occasionally I will go to a park, but it is like very rarely, and I don't enjoy it.
I too enjoy being in the dark. I mean, this has like always been like my aesthetic. I like to make the jokes and the memes of being in my dark corner, or rising from my crypt. Very much that energy. Like, yeah, I stand like, Shane will make fun of me and like, call me like a bat because I like to, and I call myself a bat too. because I like to do shit in the dark, man. I can move around the whole house like in the dark and be fine, and they'll be like,
yeah. I told my partner this too. I have like remarkably good like night vision. So it's like I feel most comfortable in the dark. I am happy here. It is nice and cool, and I can blend in with the shadows, you know, like, and Halloween is my jam, so it always makes me happy anyway. It's like, this is where I am comfortable. This is where my people are, you know?
Yes. Halloween is like when all the cute shit comes out. I love the skulls and like, just everything. I love everything except for the goddamn pumpkin spice bullshit. I'm not with that. I'm sorry to all the pumpkin. I probably just got canceled again.
It's occasionally I will like a pumpkin. I like cinnamon flavored things. I really do. I'm like I don't know about like pumpkin things. Pumpkin doesn't really taste like anything to me. So this insistence on having it in everything is just like, why? But you know,
it doesn't taste like anything. I don't like pumpkin pie either. It's like, you gonna eat the sweet potato, you gonna eat the pumpkin. I'm gonna eat the sweet potato.
Yeah. I didn't have pumpkin in my house. This is like around Thanksgiving, and I had a squash, and I made a pumpkin pie with squash, and no one could tell. Because you don't taste any fucking pumpkin in there. It's all just the spices. You could put any vegetable in there that's bland enough, and it would work. And you know what? It did. So I made a squash pie, and no one knew.
That's how plain it is. And I never would have thought that squash and pumpkin, like, you wouldn't be able to really tell the difference, especially in a pie form. That's
It's like you just have to pick the right squash. It's like dry enough, has the same consistency as pumpkin. I got butternut squash. That's what I had. Use the whole butternut squash, and you know what? Tons of vitamin C and A for you. It's healthy, and I tricked you. So take that.
It's healthy, and I tricked you.
I love. Oh man, I am. My voice is officially dying, and I always forget to bring water with me. Like, what the hell is this nonsense?
I want some water too, and I feel like I want another margarita.
Yeah, do it. I'm gonna. After this, I meant it. I'm gonna go and send my underpants on top of an AC vent so that I can cool off. But it was lovely chatting with you. Genuinely, if you ever want to come back on and you ever want to have another conversation, I would love to have you back on. This has been so much fun. Such a good time.
You could be on my channel.
Yeah. If you're okay with it, I don't want to pressure you into it or anything like that.
I don't give a damn. Girl, I need something to do anyway.
That's fair. Yeah. Anytime you want me to be on there, I will be on there with bells on. Maybe literally.
All right, with bells on, literally, yes. Yeah, maybe we can schedule it. But thank you. It's been a pleasure. I enjoyed this. I was looking forward to this. I knew this was going to be like kicking in with my girl, and it was very much that energy. And I appreciate you. Thank you so much for really everything.
Next, so this time I wore your colors. I did purple because I knew you were going to be coming on here. Next time I'm going to go with green because you got to cover both, you know.
Yeah,
green, black,
right. You know the green, black, and purple. Yeah,
exactly. You gotta
incorporated green because of my baby.
I agree, and it's such a good color palette too. It's like the perfect colors.
I'm about to go love all over my man and make a margarita chow.
Say hi to Shane for me, please. I'm looking forward to next time. I want to have him back on as well whenever we can. I'll sync with him and see when he has time. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you, Melody Rhythm, Unicorn Blush, Charlie, Acrophobe. Thank you once more for being my mod. Case 523.
Yes.
I'm trying not to reverse the numbers because like I said, I'm dyslexic, so I will do that just randomly. Thank you, everyone, for being on here. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much to Callie. And, yeah, have a really, really good weekend, you guys.
Yeah, y'all kick it.
Yeah. Bye. How do I end this live stream? There we go.